Today we're going to talk about the leadership pipeline. In every church, there's an opportunity to raise people up, not just to be workers, but to be leaders. And there's different levels of leaders that I want to try to explain today. And you do different things with different levels of leaders. The first kind of person that may be a worker in your ministry is someone who just does a task. It could be mowing the lawn or cleaning the bathrooms, or it could be some other task like handing out programs. Maybe you decide that that's something that an usher does, and they just hand out programs and that's their job. That's the task level. And there's certain skills and abilities, there's certain mentalities and character that someone who's on a task level has to have. You need to figure those things out. But above that, this is what we call a task team leader. A task team leader has a few different abilities and skills. For example, they're actually coordinating a team. They're probably making phone calls or sending communication out. And in order to be a task team leader, you have to be able to coordinate other people and not just yourself. And so each one of these zigzags in this pipeline is an opportunity for a conversation where you talk about the different set of skills that are necessary for the next level of leaders. So you have someone who does tasks, someone who's a task team leader. In other words, they lead people who do different tasks. But then you have a leader of followers. There really is a line of separation here between those who serve and those who shepherd. And I would say in most churches that there's a distinguishing probably of membership or perhaps of salvation that is a part of this line of expectation of differences. You certainly don't want someone leading followers who doesn't know Jesus in your church. Promise you won't do very good for you. But you need to have leaders of followers, and then there's leaders of leaders. For example, a leader of followers may be a Sunday school teacher, a third grade Sunday school teacher, but a leader of leaders would be the person who oversees all of maybe that children's ministry on Sunday morning, or perhaps there's a small group leader here, and there's a leader of small group leaders at this level. And again, it takes a different level of leadership, and so there's a conversation to be had, maybe something written down as an explanation of the job description that would have to happen as a bridge to move from one level to the next level. And then there's segment leaders. A segment leader would be like maybe a person here would be a small group leader of 7th graders. And the leader of leaders would be the person overseeing all small groups for junior high ministry. And the segment leader would be the junior high pastor. That would be an example of that. Segment leaders, again, a different level of leadership because they're probably doing more than one program and they're probably doing more than one thing. They have a weekend thing and a midweek thing and a staff training thing. And then there's other levels of leadership. And again, the key at each level is to figure out what is the qualification. What is the change that happens between this level and that level? And to make sure you have it written down, make sure you can present it before people and give them a training and an orientation to move from one level to the other, to set the expectation of what you want from them. This will help you a lot to figure out that people can have a pathway to leadership maturity as well as you think through the different levels of skill that each person needs to have at each level. Here's what I'd encourage you to do. Take time and think through all the people that you can name at each level in your ministry. And by the way, none of these levels are bad. The fact that they're serving at all is already a very, very good thing. But write down the level of the people that you're at, that are in your ministry. And if you're having trouble at a level, maybe it's a leader of followers level, they're not doing very well, ask why. Maybe it's because they haven't moved from serve to shepherding mentality. Maybe it's because the training is not there, the expectation hasn't been sent, and they're just simply just floundering because you haven't told them exactly what to do. But write them all down all the way up, and then figure out what is the next step for this person to move from this level to this level, or from leader of followers to leader of leaders, and help them make that move by presenting a training opportunity, conversation to help them take that step. I know there are a lot of people in our churches that can do so much more than we ask. We simply haven't trained them or helped them to see the opportunity of what they can do. This has been a Converge Whiteboard Leadership Moment. To learn more about Converge or to join us, check out converge.org.